Hi everyone, my name is Koji Kuroiwa, JICA expert. My presentation 1.1 is for climate and non-climate impacts on ecosystems. And this is an introduction to the main item, understanding of climate risk and vulnerability of ecosystem. Regarding the impacts of climate change, IPCC Working Group 2 AR5 presents an important step forward in our understanding of how to reduce the impact. It is a risk-based conception for climate change adaptation. AR5 considers management of risk is the key to the reduction of climate impacts. However, there are a variety of factors that determine the rise and fall of risk. The essence of the AR5's concept is to focus on three main factors of human and natural systems, that is, hazards, vulnerability, and exposure. This slide gives a schematic illustration of this concept. Let's look into the chart for details. Simply put, this chart is telling us that risk emerges from the overlap of hazards, vulnerability, and exposure. And in order to reduce risk, we have two approaches. One is to control hazards, which can be done through changes in emissions, including anthropogenic sources, and the other is to control vulnerability and exposure. What we should note here is that both vulnerability and exposure develop from many different socioeconomic processes. Therefore, we can take a wide range of measures to reduce the vulnerability and exposure, such as for socioeconomic pathways, adaptation and mitigation, and social governance. So, for reducing the risk of ecosystems, it is essential to identify the major components of hazards, vulnerability, and exposure. Some examples are found in balloons in the chart. Hazards will include, for example, warming of air and ocean, precipitation change, and sea level rise. Regarding vulnerability, survival rate, species at risk, and availability of necessary information are considered. For exposure, you will think of change of land use and habitat, disposal ability, and deforestation. Hope you will come up with other important items over the course of self-learning and training processes.